In part 1 of How to Beat the Humans as The Thing, we broke down what the Thing is, broke out of the alien thing's ice tomb, assimilated Griggs and Lars's dog, and then started conspiring against the entire human race. In this part, we'll continue our rampage and see if we can beat the humans or not. The Thing's intestines are probably itching to strangle some drunk Norwegian researchers, so let's get to it. They're so dead. With the dog thing running off to the other research stations and the alien thing distracting all the humans who are out searching for it, Griggs thing could return to the humans acting all freaked out to blend back in. Or it could use this opportunity to sabotage weapons and communications. Griggs thing would have memories of the radio equipment, who operates the radio, and the stockpiles of flamethrowers in the shed. The guns and axes are not particularly dangerous to the Thing, but the napalm hoses are. Griggs thing need only use its memories to envision what a flamethrower would do to a human body. Yeah, let's try to avoid that. Puncturing holes in the tanks and cutting fuel lines should only take a minute. You could also light the shed on fire, but that would bring too much attention and suspicion as to why the flamethrowers were destroyed. Right now, none of the humans are thinking about busting out the torch guns, so subtly sabotaging them is probably the best bet. After destroying the most dangerous weapons the humans have, cutting the communications out of the base is the next priority. The humans don't know about the Thing yet, but if they did decide to phone home about the alien, or they did find out about the Thing's cells and relayed that information, a bunch of men in black are going to show up and start causing problems for the Thing.
You're under arrest for violating sections 4153 of the Tycho Treaty.
So hand over whatever galaxy you might be carrying and step away from your busted-ass vehicle and put your hands on your head.
The Thing might be able to use the increased foot traffic in and out of Antarctica to its benefit, but the chances of a strict quarantine and intensive research and experimentation done on the soon-to-be alien corpse, or the sample Dr. Sander took, will expose the Thing, potentially leading to its eradication. The less alert people are, the better. While everyone's still out searching for the alien, Griggs thing should have time to go spill some coffee on the radio equipment, fray some wires, or just do something to destroy it. The helicopters, snowcats, and other forms of transportation can be left unimpaired for now. Eventually, the Thing will need to leave this research station, and hoofing it on foot in negative 40-degree temps is not ideal, even for the Thing. Even if the humans figured out what the Thing is, they are unlikely to allow anyone to physically leave the station because they wouldn't know who was actually a thing, and they can't risk it escaping.
We've got to get out of here.
Yeah, right now.
And you could be getting in a vehicle with it. That's exactly what it wants.
Some of the researchers stumble upon the dog kennel, and there's blood everywhere. Why would the Thing leave a bloody mess after assimilating the dog, but not for Griggs? This may have been intentional by the Thing. As far as the researchers are concerned, the dog was killed and eaten by the bug alien. This is actually ideal, because if or when the humans figure out the nature of the Thing, they will realize that the dog would be a threat and try to find and kill it. This way, they just think it's dead and gone. The alien Thing still has managed to evade the humans so far, but its options are dwindling. It could try to make it back to the spaceship, but the problem is that it doesn't know where it is. Griggs thing would know, but with the humans out looking for them, they probably didn't have time to stay and chat. Even if it did know where the spaceship was and could transform some alien neural biolinks to operate the spaceship, it's obviously not flyable, or else it would have left Earth a long time ago. The best option I could think of is to badly wound and infect some of the humans before running off into the night and digging itself into a hidden ice coffin where the humans would not find it. Wounding instead of killing the humans will also cause them to abandon the chase to provide medical care for their friends. This distraction and diversion of resources gives the alien thing the breathing room to run and hide. It's possible the alien thing won't survive another freeze, but the humans are gonna kill it anyways. The last thing Griggs thing and Dog thing need is for humans to start studying its alien body and putting its cells under the microscope. Badly injuring the humans will also cause them to evacuate their wounded to a good hospital in a more populated region, enabling the things to spread further. Instead of doing all this strategic shit, the alien thing decides to nom on Henrik. To be fair, it can be hard to think straight when your starving corpse is thawed and reanimated after 100,000 years, only to be immediately attacked by another species. The rest of the humans converge on it and are forced to gun it down and burn it, seeing as how it killed or was killing their friend. Poor Henrik. He woke up that morning and could never have imagined that this was the way his life would end, being pulled inside an alien bug's stomach. Its digestive acids searing and breaking down his flesh, only able to make muffled screams while suffocating and losing blood. Your friends realize that they can't help you, so they start shooting at it to try to kill you and it. None of them put you out of your misery. The fiery stinging of bullets hitting you is just more pain added to the agony of melting and suffocating, and then they light it and you on fire. Only then did your consciousness give out. Maybe he was lucky and died immediately though. Despite the alien thing failing to hide its body in the snow, with no comms or weapons, Grig's thing blending in nicely, and the dog thing on its way to another station, I think we're still on track for world domination in 27,000 hours. Olav, who just witnessed Henrik get mauled and digested by the alien thing, is now in the infirmary getting checked out by Carl, with none other than Grig's thing right next to them. All Grig's thing needs to do is touch them. Not like some stupid finger poke, but like a pat on the back of the head, or brush against their arm. Caress his cheek slowly. You know, something subtle. Light touching should be a viable strategy from everything we know. Every cell in a thing's body is a thing cell. Each thing cell actively seeks out non-thing cells to assimilate and spread to. One skin thing cell rubbing up against the non-thing cell should cause it to spread. It is possible that the thing cells do take some time to recognize non-thing cells, divide via mitosis, and attack foreign cells, and this may take some seconds. Mitosis in humans does take around 2 hours to complete, so just simply brushing up against them might not work. Even if the thing can perform mitosis and have one of the daughter cells invade the foreign cells in 10 to 20 seconds, that would mean Grig's thing would have to hold hands with Olav for an uncomfortable amount of time to infect him. This is still a viable strategy for Grig's thing though, as all he'd need to do is the old spit handshake. The thing's cells in the saliva would transfer to the human hand and have enough time to start assimilating. There's a lot of variations to this that you could use if you just use your sick imaginations. You might not even need to touch them though. As we're all very aware by now, the air that exits your mouth contains respiratory droplets, which contains all kinds of cells from your body, including pathogens. These droplets containing thing cells can hang in the air and travel many feet. Just being in the same room and talking to them could infect them with thing cells. If you wanted to expedite the infection process, Grig's thing could also just sneeze in their faces too.
Achoo! Excuse me.
Say Grig's thing did rudely sneeze in their faces. How would it know they're infected and turned into things too? For that matter, how do things know who other things are in general? Things can't just ask other organisms if they're things or not, nor is it possible to visually detect other things given they're imitating their enemy. They could physically touch each other to confirm, like slime molds conjoining to communicate with each other, but that's also pretty impractical and overt. My guess is it would be a form of chemical sensing. Part of the assimilation process's biological alterations could be to enhance olfactory receptor neurons in the host so that it can detect a distinct odor other things give off.
You caught a lot of fish.
Yeah.
This odor would be undetectable to other organisms or humans, similar to how a dog might be able to sense whether a woman is pregnant or not based on hormone production causing them to give off a unique odor, even though we can't. This means that two things who were assimilated independently of each other could be in the same room with other humans, realize each other are things, then go verbally conspire against the humans elsewhere. Grig's thing could just grab both of them and shove tentacles in their necks, but it's too risky that they will make some commotion and get caught. While it's cinematic and intense to use grotesque forms to assimilate others, that's only necessary once you've been made and the victim is trying to escape, kill you, and warn others. The things just need to use the Invasion of the Body Snatchers strategy of blending in as much as possible, and only announcing your presence and revealing your attack form when you're caught or have an overwhelming advantage. While everyone's autopsying the alien with their sandwich gloves, breathing in all its steaming innards, Griggs Thing was in the break room pouring another cup of joe. This may be a good opportunity to spike the coffee pot everyone drinks out of with a couple drops of Thing blood, like David did to Dr. Holloway in Alien Prometheus.
Here's mud in your eye, pal. Good health.
You'd have to let the coffee cool down a bit first, but if the thing had blueprints for thermophiles like it did for cryophiles, the thing's cells could easily handle 120 degree temperatures the coffee would be served at. The cells in the cups would be ingested by many of the researchers, and within minutes, they'd be thing versions of themselves. This is an easy way to infect many people at once. Juliet starts feeling woozy from the autopsy and starts coughing. This is likely a natural reaction from seeing Henrik's corpse and not from being assimilated. Like we talked about in part 1, you wouldn't know you were being assimilated. Griggs Thing comes out of the break room, sees Juliet alone in the hallway coughing, and goes to console her. Griggs is such a sympathetic soul, consoling everyone who isn't feeling good. Griggs Thing patting her on the back and breathing in her direction might have been enough to infect her, but it's not guaranteed, which is why he most likely followed her into the bathroom to finish the job. Right now, Griggs Thing is pretty much taking people out impulsively based on whoever seems isolated enough. It's not a terrible strategy, but it could be better coordinated, especially with its access to Griggs' memories. Griggs Thing should be targeting the people who are most likely to and capable of figuring out what the thing is. Whoever is in charge of studying the alien is the priority target, because they will be the ones to sound the alarms. Griggs Thing would know that Sander is an arrogant fool.
Hvad jeg siger til dig, Edvard, det er fuldstændig vanvittigt at bringe folk ind i det her udefra. Vi kommer til at miste det, vi har fundet.
Adam is a docile follower and unlikely to speak up without Sanders' permission.
Adam saw it too.
Is that true?
I don't know.
Which leaves Kate Lloyd as the primary skeptic, researcher, and target.
Before we do, I'm going to take a tissue sample.
Do you really think that's a good idea?
She's the vertebrate paleontologist and a human who would understand what she was looking at under the microscope. The others are just geologist, climatologist, ecologist, and other unrelated fields. Kate Lloyd was brought in specifically for this task. I mean, she's not exactly qualified to research alien life forms, but she's the most relevant person for the job, apparently. Really, now that I think about it, why the hell did they hire her? It certainly wasn't because she would keep her mouth shut and fall in line. There has to be way more qualified and discreet people they could have chosen instead. I also think it's worth mentioning that the things should be communicating what they know to each other as best as possible. Griggs Thing should tell Juliet Thing that the dog thing is on its way to another station, that comms and weapons were sabotaged, that it was going to try to assimilate Sam Carter before they make it to McMurdo, and that Juliet should try to infect Kate next. You don't want to just infect other people and have them all doing their own things, which might jeopardize the whole operation. Gotta stay coordinated and organized. Juliet Thing should have communicated to Griggs Thing that when she was in the rec room, Carter said that he was taking Olaf to the military hospital in McMurdo because he was developing some form of psychological shock from the incident, and that Carter said he was gonna blow the lid off this whole operation and tell everyone about the alien and spaceship. This would bring a lot of unnecessary heat and scrutiny, which makes Carter the primary target now. Griggs Thing was already consoling Olaf and is clearly closer friends with him. It makes sense for Griggs Thing to hitch a ride, stop Carter, and further infect McMurdo Station. McMurdo is where the C-17 transport out of Antarctica is too, so this would be a good way to get off the continent and into the more populated areas of the Earth. Meanwhile, Juliet Thing should immediately go to intercept the secondary target, Kate Lloyd. Juliet Thing apparently had better things to do and doesn't intercept Kate before she examines a blood sample of the alien thing and discovers its imitation and assimilation abilities.
It's like the alien cells are somehow attacking Henrik's cells, and then
They're imitating his cells.
Kate also finds Juliet's fillings in the shower. Damn it, Juliet thing, how hard is it to clean up after yourself? You easily could have turned the shower on and picked up your fillings. The fuck is the point of imitating your prey if you leave a mess of your blood, tooth fillings, and metal implants for others to find? Not only did you fail to intercept Kate, you left even more evidence for her to become even more suspicious that something foul is at play. I don't really get the whole "the thing can't replicate inorganic material" plot device. Thing cells would simply ignore the inorganic material and only assimilate the organic tissue. If the thing cells perfectly replicated a host organism's cells, which had already adapted to the implant or simply did not care about things like dental fillings, then the Thing version should not be rejecting them either. In the 1982 movie, Nora's Thing accidentally replicated a heart defect, which caused the Thing to have a genuine heart attack, ultimately exposing it. If the Thing cells replicate the host perfectly, and the assimilated human needs a metal brace to function,
Looks like a titanium plate. Yeah, that's right. Henrik broke his arm last year.
then spitting that metal brace out would damage the host organism and expose it. But even if the Thing organisms do reject inorganic materials for some unknown reason, it wouldn't be that much of a problem if the Thing simply cleaned up after themselves, or re-pierced their earrings if they had them. Piercings are literally just a healed hole. It's not something the human body or Thing would even reject. While Griggs Thing successfully makes it onto the chopper, Juliet Thing decides to assimilate Edvard in secret. Griggs Thing could walk up to the pilot and co-pilot and start coughing, but he decides to stay seated for the flight to not risk making anyone suspicious. He will need to take out Carter before they land though. Kate, having discovered the nature of the Thing, runs outside and flags the chopper down. Carter agrees to land it. What should Griggs Thing do? He doesn't actually know why the chopper's landing.
Is there something wrong? No, everything's fine.
Why would a vertebrate paleontologist and not the camp leader be flagging the chopper down? It's possible that Juliet Thing did not intercept Kate in time, and she managed to figure out what the Thing is. It's also very possible that it's just nothing. But considering Carter and Kate are by far the biggest tattletale bitches on this base, and Carter was already itching to get the word out, combined with whatever Kate is up to, it can't be good. Crashing the helicopter and stopping Carter would make all the researchers panic, but without a functioning radio, they will have to physically go to the other bases for help. Juliet Thing could then infect whoever's going to the other base for help, and she could stay and further infect the Thule station. The problem with crashing the helicopter is that it's hovering right above the base. There's no guarantee that Carter would have steered it into a valley miles and miles away. If it had crashed into the station's premises and everyone discovered that Griggs turned into a spaghetti monster, the jig would be up. Landing the chopper safely and maintaining deception might be the better decision. Edvard, Juliet, and Griggs Things could all focus fire on Kate and Carter once back at the base. Even if Kate immediately started ranting about the Thing's cell's replication abilities, nobody will believe her initially, so there will be a window of opportunity to infect them and the others at the base. Keeping suspicions low is probably the best move for now. Griggs Thing instead opts for option 1 and explodes into tentacles and starts attacking Olav and the pilot. Luckily, Carter flies the helicopter into a hillside miles away. The researchers attempt to radio for help, but Cullen, the radio operator, says it's not working, that it might be the storm rolling in causing interference. So Griggs Thing did manage to sabotage it. Yeah, I know in the movie it was actually caused by a bad storm, but I like to think it was Griggs Thing executing my plan correctly. The researchers call an all-hands meeting to discuss what to do, which Kate rudely interrupts with her rants about an alien cell replicating people. Nobody seems to believe her, nor is willing to spend 5 minutes checking the blood sample in the lab.
I've heard enough. Lars, call in, get your gear. 10 minutes.
Edvard and Juliet Things are just sitting in on the conversation, which must be awkward for them hearing Kate talk about them as a single cell that replicates the body they are existing in, which was formerly their friend. Edvard Thing orders the team to drive a snowcat to Haley Station to retrieve Thule Station's helicopter, which is refueling there, and asks Colin and Lars to join him on their journey. The radio operator was a good pick, as he won't be able to stay and fix the radio. If Edvard Thing can make it to the helicopter at Haley Station and infect Lars and Cullen on the way, it will open up a lot of possibilities for spreading to the rest of Earth. There's no need to bring Juliet Thing. She should stay and infect the others at the base, starting with Kate. It's only a matter of time before she comes up with hard evidence and a way to kill the Things. The rest will fall easily after her. Juliet needs to isolate Kate first. which you would think would be difficult considering Kate should be extremely cautious about social distancing when one thing cell could kill her, but Kate doesn't seem to care. Juliet Thing uses her memories of where the Snowcat keys are to suggest to Kate that they should hide the keys. It's a perfect proposal because the key room is isolated and she wouldn't suspect that the thing would propose cutting off travel out of the base. What Kate doesn't seem to understand is that the thing does not need to leave the base right now. It can just assimilate everyone here, then leave at its leisure. Juliet Thing finally isolates Kate, the primary target, and instead of just shanking her with a knife covered in her own blood, it opts to needlessly transform into a giant mouth with a tentacle. Very sophisticated attack form you got there. I'm sure a lot of thought went into its design. The transformation process is also painfully slow and gives Kate every opportunity to run. Juliet just blew everything for the things. Juliet was a bad human to assimilate, as imitating her meant imitating a brain structure that was unintelligent. She didn't clean up after herself in the bathroom, did not intercept Kate in time, and then when she finally had the opportunity to kill Kate, she botched the whole thing and gave the humans all the evidence they needed to become aware of the threat and fight back. She manages to only kill the lowest threat human in the entire group, Carl, before getting torched by the flamethrowers. Well, I guess Griggs Thing did not sabotage the weapons after all. In a last-ditch effort, Juliet Thing remembers the kitchen has extinguishers and uses them to put the fire out. But it's no match for their flamethrowers, which have an unlimited fuel supply. Carl might be able to turn into a thing too, but Juliet Thing did massively damage him, and the humans will burn him before he can heal. There's actually a deleted scene where he did heal and ran off. Edvard Thing has to be pissed that Juliet Thing didn't wait a few minutes so he could have escaped with Cullen and Lars. Now he's stuck here with everyone agreeing to a quarantine. There should still be a flamethrower in the shed though. He could just grab it and roast everyone. The thing has the element of surprise, and the other humans would hesitate to kill who they think is their friend. The time for covert assimilation is up. The thing just needs to use the humans' weapons against them right now. After burning them all to a crisp, he'd be free to leave and infect the world. Kate proposes a blood test to verify who is human. Dr. Sander and Adam agree to go set up the test while everyone else goes to sabotage all transportation out of the station. Edvard Thing got really lucky that everyone was stupid enough to split up like this. He needs to find something to light the lab on fire with. While perusing the base for flammables, he runs into Kate and Lars acting shady in the shed.
Is everything all right?
Yes. Yes, everything's fine.
Good. Lars, we'll commencer.
Ja.
On Kate, Lars, and Edvard Thing's way back to the camp, they see Jameson and Carter arrive out of the blizzard. Juliet Thing, wild, dumb, and reckless, should have debriefed Edvard Thing that Griggs Thing was on the chopper when it crashed. Griggs Thing obviously didn't make it, but Jameson and Carter might have been infected. There's no way to tell, as sniffing out their sweet, sweet thing pheromones is not possible in this blizzard.
Don't have to kill them. All right, we can just lock them up until Sanders' test is ready.
This could be another ploy to divert suspicion away from himself, but this could also be to eliminate what he thinks are just likely other human threats. Jameson and Carter showing up right now was perfect timing. Even better that Kate and Lars split up to go imprison them until the test is ready. Edvard Thing can use this distraction to sabotage the lab by getting some gas and flares, waiting for Adam and Dr. Sander to leave, then lighting it on fire. The humans extinguish the flames, but the damage is done. Kate devises a new plan to check everyone's teeth for fillings. This Kate's a crafty one. They really should have taken her out sooner. We don't know if Edvard had metal fillings or not, but if he did, hopefully nobody saw them or remembered that he had cheap dental work done. This would expose him immediately. One by one, she checks everyone's mouth before finally getting to Edvard Thing. If only the thing didn't actually need to spit out fillings. With how close she is, a large exhalation could compromise her, but everyone's on edge, so any suspicious actions will be too dangerous. Still, wouldn't have hurt to let her get close to your mouth. Luckily, almost half the people don't have fillings, so Edvard Thing is not completely singled out. With 4 Thing suspects, they will have to assess things another way, but how else? They don't have a lab anymore and checking for fillings didn't work. The only other thing I could think of is to send somebody with fillings out to another station for help. The Thing cannot let that happen. I can't imagine Kate and the others would have the heart to execute all 4 of them, even though they should. With all the humans have seen and the danger it poses, the Thing cannot fully rule out an execution. Edvard Thing also cannot rely on Jameson or Carter because it doesn't know if they're actually things. It needs to cause panic, disruption, chaos. An orderly quarantine is not going to end well for the Thing, but it can't just start transforming and wildly attacking. Peter and Lars's flamethrowers are way too deadly. It needs to start sowing dissent, panic, and rebellion amongst the other suspected humans.
Smart jänta.
Ja.
Kate sends Lars and Tormund to go grab Jameson and Carter to check their teeth as well. Tormund runs back in and starts yelling that the Americans took Lars. Maybe they are things after all. Peter still has the flamethrower trained on them, but the panic is setting in, so it just needs to bide its time for an opportunity. A crash through the back of the window is heard, and the quarantine completely falls apart when Peter runs to check it out. Looking around the corner over Peter's shoulder, Edvard Thing would see Jameson and Carter, but no Lars. They can't be things. Otherwise, Lars would have been assimilated and been with them. At this distance, Edvard Thing might not also detect any Thing pheromones either. It doesn't really matter who kills who. The best case scenario is they all kill each other, destroying the flamethrowers and weapons in the fight. Not the best outcome, but at least it's one less flamethrower and human to worry about now. But Carter still is gonna be a problem. I have no idea why Edvard Thing goes to check out the dead as Peter. There's just no point in doing so. The flamethrower's busted, Peter's dead. The only logical thing to do would be to back up and wait for a better opportunity. I'm really starting to question the intelligence of these things. The humans' emotional ties override the rational fear that they should possess a physical contact, and they pick up Edvard Thing by the arms, exposing bare flesh to the Thing's cells. It might be enough to infect them, but it might not. His weakened state from the explosion is causing him to lose control of his cellular adaptations. When Tormund and Colin both grab his Thing flesh, the Thing's cell colonies start doing what they do on an instinctual level, hunting foreign cells. An entire cell colony of the arm splits off and attacks Tormund. This Thing arm develops its own brain, sensory organs, mouth, legs, and bodily systems so it can function autonomously, crawling up Tormund's arm, incapacitating him by violently making out with him, the French kiss of death. The rest of the humans scatter in shock. Their flamethrower no longer works, so instead of developing more spider things which would be hard to hit with the flamethrower and cause them to use up their fuel more quickly, Edvard Thing can instead sprout large tentacles which can whip at the humans. It punctures Adam Finch as he tries to run away, then turns its head and sees Carter and Jameson hiding behind a pool table. Jameson opens fire with a pistol. The bullets sail through the Thing's body, causing some damage, but nothing catastrophic or unfixable. The gun would be nice to use against the humans. One shot to the gut would incapacitate them to the point where assimilation would be very easy, but it looked like Jameson ran out of ammo for it. It retaliates by whipping him in the chest too. It doesn't really need to kill them. One stab and there would be enough Thing cells transferred into them to take over their body in minutes. Edvard Thing really needs to leave before Kate gets the flamethrower working. The arm Thing sucking Tormund's face and Jameson Thing will likely get torched before they become operational things, and so will it if it doesn't leave. It needs to get mobile. The current form of Edvard's body is damaged and unusable, so it transforms new appendages that it can use to move. It also decides to make another arm Thing which can scurry off to go find Sander or Colin. The transformations would have used up a lot of energy, so assimilating Adam Finch will give it more resources and power. And why leave Adam's corpse when they're just gonna torch it anyways? Kate eventually does get that flamethrower working, so it needs to run off and hide somewhere else. Staying and fighting would be a death sentence. Tormund and Jameson Thing get torched, leaving only the arm Thing and split face left. The arm Things won't contain enough brain matter to be strategic about its targets. If Kate finds it, it's likely dead. If it finds Colin, Sander, or Lars, they are screwed because they have no weapons that can stop it. This pretty much holds true for Splitface as well. Kate is the only problem. Everyone else is dead meat. Splitface finds Dr. Sander cowering in a room by himself. Instead of assimilating him into a three-faced monster, it just infects him. This isn't to have him try to blend back in with Kate and Carter, as they already heard him scream. It's so Sander can try to make an escape while Splitface and Arm Thing take out the rest of the survivors. Splitface would have heard the sound of a flamethrower and the shrieking of the poor arm spiders. It would also hear a can get knocked over, which has to be where Kate and Carter are located. With Sander Thing being assimilated and making his escape in a snowcat to one of the other nearby bases, Splitface needs to kill all the remaining survivors, or at least delay them long enough for Sander Thing to get away. Knowing roughly where they are, it tracks them down to a room they're sneaking around in. Splitface is pretty light on its feet for being a 360-pound beast. Kate and Carter have no idea they're being tracked down. If it can just cut them off and wait for them in the next room, it could tentacle whip Kate through the heart as soon as she walks through the doorway. Or, instead of being strategic, it could just brainlessly jump through a window and completely miss both of them. Luckily, Kate and Carter panic ran and didn't torch it. Splitface takes after Carter because he's unarmed and an easy target. If it can infect Carter, it just adds another thing that can try to kill Kate if Kate gets the drop on Splitface later. It sniffs Carter out with its heightened olfactory senses. He's backed himself into a corner with a kitchen knife. How pathetically hopeless. Just before it can assimilate him, that crafty bitch shows up with a flamethrower again. If only Griggs Thing had sabotaged the flamethrowers, literally the only effective weapon against the Thing. Well, hopefully Sander Thing escaped already. Nope. Sander Thing gets spotted driving off in a snowcat by Kate and Carter. How was Sander Thing just driving away now? I guess the assimilation process could take some time, or he had to unsabotage the sprites they sabotaged earlier. In Sander Thing's defense, it just got really unlucky that Splitface led Kate and Carter right to him, and that it wasn't able to distract them for even 1 minute longer. Really, 1 minute longer, and they'd have no idea Sander Thing left. Sander Thing then drives to the spaceship instead of nearby bases. I don't know why though. The spaceship is not operational, or it would have been used already. Despite not being able to fly, it still is able to be powered up by the Sander Thing. It is remarkable that it's possible for it to transform the neural bioconnectors necessary to operate the spaceship. That information would have had to have been transferred from an alien thing to the bug thing, to Griggs Thing, to Juliet Thing, to Edvard Thing, then to Sander Thing. A bit of a stretch, but okay. Maybe it didn't need to, and the spaceship just auto starts up when you step inside. I don't know. Carter has the flamethrower now, but he's isolated. Kate and him must have gotten split up for some reason. I'd say that going for the presumably unarmed Kate first would make a lot more sense than going after the dude with the flamethrower. And since they are split up, he wouldn't know she got infected, just like how Kate did not know that Carter was infected later in the movie. Sander Thing was able to stealthily sneak up on and infect Carter too.
Kate!
Pretty impressive that none of his clothes were torn up at all in the process. If anything, this would be much easier to accomplish when attacking the unarmed Kate. After the Thing infected Kate covertly and stealthily, what then? It could send Kate to try to rejoin up with Carter and infect him, or it could just attack Carter with Kate Thing hanging back. I don't think it would want to risk Kate Thing's life. Carter may be suspicious now that they had gotten split up and would attempt to fry Kate Thing. My vote would be for the Sander Thing to attack Carter first with the Kate Thing hanging back. Since Carter has the flamethrower, running up on him would be a death sentence. I think it should split up into multiple spider things like earlier. Trying to torch multiple small fast-moving things will be a lot more difficult and cause him to burn up all of his fuel very fast. Like we talked about in my How to Beat the Thing video, those flamethrowers only have about 5 to 10 seconds of trigger squeeze time before they run dry. Once he's out of fuel, it's pretty much game over for him. With Kate and Carter assimilated, they could return to the Norwegian base and make sure that Lars and Cullen were both dead, as well as dispose of incriminating evidence. These research stations are not just isolated places the rest of the world disregards. They're parts of large national organizations that will be checking in on them. The seasonal rotation of Antarctic researchers will need to be strategized around. Friends, family, and colleagues will want to know what happened to the researchers, coming up with a story about some tragic accident, covering up the evidence of the spaceship, and destroying the Thing bodies will preserve their Thing secrets, and enable them to have an even larger head start when the Things finally get the flight back to the more populated areas of Earth. In the movie, the Thing attacks Carter first, probably doing some death from above shit where a tentacle grabbed his flamethrower and neck at the same time, restraining and infecting him, taking care not to rustle his clothing. By infecting Carter and turning him into a Thing, Carter Thing will have knowledge and memories of Kate stuffing thermite grenades into her pockets. They should have communicated this information to each other, and just had Carter Thing with his fully functioning flamethrower roast Kate. The thermite grenades would ignite, but thermite grenades don't have a blast radius. They just burn really intensely. It would be safe to napalm her from a short distance. Instead of all this, it attacks Kate head on like a slow bumbling ape. What in the hell was this? Not moments ago it took out Carter like it was Sam Fisher. It had the element of surprise. It was already transformed into an attack form. It could have just tackled her or tentacle whipped her. Instead, it just throws her across the room. Let me just say, I can't stand villains that just throw the hero around until the hero picks up something it can use to fight back. Then, when Kate crawls off into a corridor, it decides to not split off more armed spider things like it did multiple times prior. Kate would have zero way to stop them from facehugging her like Tormund. It even manages to grab her by the leg and pull her out. The Things have been shown to be able to produce fangs and tentacles at will. There's zero reason why it couldn't just puncture her leg and infect her right then and there. Side note, Sandor Thing became a towering monster out of nowhere. Originally, it was just a frail, older man. I'm not sure where he got all that mass from. Maybe there was some long-term food storage on the spaceship it could use to bulk up, like some sort of futuristic McDonald's patties that never go bad. Carter Thing shows up just as Sandor Thing eats the grenade. Serves you right for just throwing her around. You know she's a crafty bitch. You should have just gone for the throat. Carter Thing is opting to blend in and buddy up with her. There is really no need to be sneaky right now. Kate's isolated, you have a flamethrower, there's no need to assimilate her. Just kill her, dispose of the evidence at the base, and then go to another station by yourself and infect them. His stupid plan to blend in and assimilate her later completely backfires, which should have been obvious. Kate has been foiling every plan everything has come up with so far. You really think you're gonna dupe her this time? Nope again. It's especially stupid when Carter Thing should have known that 1. Kate is keen on missing Metal now, and will definitely assess him before going into another populated area. 2. Having been split up and losing the earring would cause her to be highly suspicious. 3. If he couldn't re-pierce his ear, he should have at least remembered what ear it was on because Kate will undoubtedly question him about it. If it's unable to do that, it should just do what I said it should do from the start. Torch her before she tortures him. I really don't get why he didn't remember what side his earring was on. I guess that it's possible that after assimilation, the subsequent biological alterations to his brain compromise those memories. At this point, Kate basically has to kill him because it's just too likely and risky to leave him alive. I wouldn't want to hop into the Sprite with somebody as suspicious as he is either. Even though all the human things got killed, the doggo thing should have made it to the other stations and started infecting them. Oh, come on, goddamn. Stupid dog thing was hiding at the camp this entire time. Why? And why did it choose this exact time when Lars was outside with his gun next to a dude with a helicopter? And why did it choose to run out right in front of him? The dog thing easily could have waited until nobody was looking and ran at any point this whole time. Even though there's tons of evidence left at the camp of the thing, it won't be necessary to dispose of right now. By the time anyone got the word out, the Men in Black arrived and studied the creature, and all the nations agreed on an Antarctica-wide quarantine, Dog Thing would have infected most of the stations and probably found a way off the continent already. There's no point in risking its life attacking the gun-toting Lars. The movie ends with Lars missing all of his shots and the dog thing escaping on foot and making it to the American base unharmed and into welcoming arms. Cue the intense background music. I I think with our strategizing, the thing easily could have taken over the research stations in Antarctica and boarded the next flight out of McMurdo. But what about humankind as a whole? With the knowledge of the human race being used against it by the human things, what could be done? There doesn't need to be some genius level strategy here. Just stay quiet, don't transform, and patiently infect another person who would then infect another person, and on and on. They should spread far and wide, infecting people on every continent, so that if word did get out, no quarantine response would be effective. This would likely be my first move, because while they would have disposed of the evidence at the Norwegian camp and they wouldn't want to transform into an attack form prematurely, it is possible that some things could inadvertently transform and word would spread globally and instantly, causing lockdowns. Even if the humans figured out the thing, tried to quarantine it, or created a vaccine, nothing would work. The humans would all destroy themselves out of fear of who was the thing and who wasn't. No vaccine could be created in time or even work, considering the thing hides perfectly within the host and does not trigger an immune response in the first place. Any effective treatment probably just kill the host. Even though the things are on the plane back to the rest of civilization, I still think it's wise to also start assimilating the other life forms on the planet as a backup, as well as to gain additional biomatter. As mentioned in the first part, 3 trillion fish sprouting legs and becoming something like the arm things that attacked Tormund would be devastating in and of itself. But what if it also assimilated squirrels, birds, ants, mosquitoes, and other insects and animals? This really wouldn't take much time for the thing to do, for the same reason one thing cell can take over 30 trillion human cells in minutes. There most likely would not be some epic last stand with humanity fighting hordes of thing combat forms. Society would crumble in on itself, with the thing spreading to more and more people. People would be killing each other and starving to death with shut down economies and markets. Things hunting down each remaining person until nobody was left. Humans would be taken by their loved ones and friends in their most private moments, with the last real humans destroying one another due to massive levels of paranoia. Humankind will go extinct with a whimper in the dark, and it will happen in a matter of months. With large populations assimilated, finding each survivor can be tricky. Interestingly, a good strategy the thing could implement is something it would have found in the fictional creations of humans. A video game, as they call it, Halo, has an adversary called the Flood. Thing's cells bear some resemblance in its abilities. The Flood would use spore creation to fill the air with Flood cells. Since humans need air to breathe and all the air would be filled with Thing cells, everyone would be infected no matter where they hid. It's an interesting idea, though the thing likely would not have the blueprints necessary to accomplish this. The last remaining humans may be aboard a Navy submarine. The captain would be the only one who knew of the last garbled messages that came from humanity on the surface. Something about a nuclear last-ditch effort. The last orders were to never return home, and under no circumstance should they physically contact other humans until further orders. It's been 2 weeks, and everyone on board is getting anxious. Eventually, they surface and see a whale in the distance coming towards them through the periscope. It keeps coming closer and closer. Once the whale gets uncomfortably close, it splits open. Its fanged tentacles start puncturing the hole, reaching inside it and whipping into the crew members, pulling them out and consuming them. The only thing left of humankind is a fading echo of a scream inside the bloody corridors of a lone submarine. So there you have it. As the thing, I think we could have beaten humankind. Thanks for watching, and remember, throwing your enemies into things they could use to kill you is not a good strategy.